Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jorge, and I'm going to be showing you today some exercises that are going to be internal API using Drupal 8, and we are going to do a little exercise after that one using Google and using the API from SOAP, from USPS Postal Service. So, first of all, I would like to say that this session is going to be about web services and connection between devices, okay? So, in the agenda is going to be what is REST. Many of you, I imagine, how many people have worked with REST already? That is a lot. We are going to cover Drupal 8 and REST APIs. We're going to cover what is HAL. Somebody knows what is HAL already? And we are going to do the demo. There is one so there. So we have one at least. And we are going to cover a demo, a small demo that is going to basically show us everything that is going to be the parts of REST, how we are going to use it using Postman, how we can enable all of these one in Drupal, and how we are going to be able to connect to other services. Or us, as Drupal developers, we can provide these services outside to a mobile device, another website, so on and so on. Later we are going to have a Q&A, so if you guys have any questions, you are going to be able to raise your hand. And but if you would like to talk more in detail about any of these one, we can talk about that one after the session too. So, what is REST? REST is a representational states transfer. It's basically a standard architecture that communicates between devices. Okay? We're not talking about only websites. We're not talking about only systems that are in a network. We're talking about anything. It's outside. You can communicate one thing from basically a Microsoft application into a Drupal application. What is the benefits of having REST or using REST? Basically, we don't need a state in any device. We don't need anything about that. REST doesn't depend on a state of a device or a website or a service. It's always open. It's always working, unless there is a power outage, of course. But then we have the separation. The separation of systems, like for example, the example that I was giving, Microsoft against Drupal. We can communicate each other. Uniform interface is already standardized with JSON, XML, HAL, and so on and so on. It has a hierarchical architecture that is going to be basically, we are going to be going through layers. We are not going a connection like, for example, DA to the database. We're going through layers of that. Scalability. You can basically copy and paste whatever you need or you have in your version and replicate that one and improve it. So you can use version 1, or for another system you can use version 2. So basically you can scale this one and you can reuse it. Of course, flexibility and independence. It's not dependent on a system. It's completely independent. So, Drupal 8 and REST APIs. How this one works? Basically, you have a request. This one goes through routing. This one triggers a handler event that is going to deserialize, and it's going to go to the resource plugin. Okay? It's going to connect from there to the database, return the data, come back to the resource plugin that we are going to see in a minute. It's going to serialize it again, pass to the request handler, and return the response. What do we need for doing this REST? We need, of course, REST, but there is a module that is going to be REST UI. We need REST UI that is not in core. Serializer and options is already in core. HAL and basic authentication also is in core. So let's take a little bit of HAL. What is HAL? And I don't know if you have seen it, but this module comes from the Drupal core already. You know, it's already there. It has been worked for almost 5 years to get into this standard that I think is very, very interesting, because you can send many requests in one REST API call, which makes everything so easy. You know, a REST, it can be a HAL XML or it can be a HAL JSON. So you can choose between both of them. You can return a response that is going to be XML or return a response that is going to be JSON. Okay? There is a standard convention for defining hypermedia. Okay? Like links and other resources like JSON. We can apply this one the same as REST, the same as the rest of the architecture to different domains. We can do a crossover. We don't need to put any requirements in each other, and it's a general purpose. It's based on two concepts. One is going to be the resources. The resources basically is the data that is going to be sent back. But this data is, it has a different location, I would say. When you see a JSON, you will see basically this part. You only see a JSON like that. And everybody, I think, knows about a JSON structure. But if you see in the top of this one, I don't know if you can see my mouse. If you see on the top, you see links. The links, you can send as many links as you want to collect the data. So for example, and this one is a very interesting example. One person wants to communicate into a healthcare provider application, but I need to register, I need to maybe go to the doctor, I need to find a doctor. So based on that one, we can send multiple links, do multiple checkups into the patient's information. Now, that one is going to be the links. The resource basically is going to be the JSON format where this one is going to be returned. But also the same. If we are calling to multiple links, we are going to be calling to multiple data source. And this one is going to return multiple objects of each of them. So you are going to get in one API call, you're going to, boom, get more information, and you're going to be able to manipulate that information as you need it. Oh, the demo. So let's go back here. So I have this website. I basically install it right now. It's just empty. I enable already the modules, but as you can see, I'm going to scroll down here. These one are going to be your web services. You have HAL by default, HTTP, basic authentication, REST UI, RESTful web services, and serialization. So all of this one needs to be present the moment that you are going to start doing a REST. So you enable all of these modules, go to configuration, and at the bottom it says Web Services REST. Okay? And here you can see that we have, by default, we have one that is going to be collect information of a node. I created a node. Let's see. It was the beginning. There it is. We have node 1. As you can see there, we have node 1. Now, I think it's too big now. Let me see. There it is. Let me edit this service, and you will see how it looks inside. So, we are seeing that this is going to accept a get, a post, delete, and patch. There is so many methods out there. One of them that I don't recommend for any API, by the way, is put. Okay, so there is a lot of documentation why we should not be using that one, but these one are going to be the method that we are going to, I think is more conventional of them. So we are saying at the bottom what format we are going to request this. We can request it as a hot JSON, a JSON, or XML. Okay, and you will see the information of what each of them returns and how they return. JSON and XML, I imagine you are very familiar with it, but this one is interesting to see on how it returns. And what we are going to do, we are going to do a basic authentication. As you can see from starting, you already have an authentication here, so you don't need to do anything. I haven't done any code yet. I just enable the modules, and I have already by default API outside. So let's go to our Postman. And what I need is, I just need my URL here. And I want the node /1, that is going to be the node that we are requesting, or the only one that we have right now. We're going to attach format equal to JSON. Okay? Send it. And as you can see here, it's returning me the value of the node with all the information. But I already have this one from scratch. You know, we haven't touched any line of code. And you're going to have many like this one here to enable, as you can see, by default. Okay? So we are returning a format JSON. What about if my application wants or requires a XML? We just modify this one to XML. And now we receive it as XML version. Now, the other one is going to be hot JSON. Hot JSON is going to return the links, first part, where it's going to show you what he is communicating. Is calling to a REST type, node, and page. So it's calling to this one in order to get that you are obtaining already the information that to expand your API. Is returning you what is going to be the format, and at the bottom, let me see, where is it? Links. Embed. That is your resource. That is why it's returning. And inside embed is going to return the same JSON that you had as JSON. And you have the title, change, promote, and you have the content. So by now we have unpacked basically the most basic REST APIs using the same, using the Drupal, and from the shell only adding one module that is going to be REST UI. So let's see now, and I want to add more resources to this one. I want to expand. I know none of these ones that are disabled right now works for me. So we're going to create a small module, and this one I call it DemoRest. And we are going to need two files basically. A plugin. Of course we are going to need the info file. By the way, we need that one for creating a module. But we're going to create a file that is going to be a resource. It needs to be on that exact path. Source, plugins, REST, resource. And this one, what it's going to do, is going to give us this message. Hello, this is a REST service. And we are going to do a configuration and install resource YAML so it can be enabled by default. So let me go back to the modules. And like always, every demo, something break. So let's hope that this one doesn't break. And this one is DemoRest. And we install. So with two files, I created a method that is going to be a get at the moment. So there we are. Let's go to the API and let's first check out our link, and it's going to be a DemoRest Resource. Okay. Let me put the configuration and see if everything is correctly. So we have a get. Let's accept JSON, basic authentication, and it's again. Okay. There it is. So now let's go and we are going to do demo rest / resource. I need authentication. So I am asking for authentication, basic authentication. This one is very simple. We just add, this one is too small. There it is. Basic authentication. I'm putting an account that I created for this authentication, just preview, and it's saying okay, you're good to go. Hello, this is a REST service. Okay? So with two files, I would say very minimal line of code, we have created our first API using HAL JSON or XML. So you can switch, as we saw it, you can switch between one format, the other format, or any format. So what do we need to see here? What do we need to see here in this code? We have in this part, that is the REST resource information, we are going to need to do an ID, and we are going to need a canonical path. The canonical path is going to be the one that is going to be called. Okay? And once we create that file, we can enable and install using that ID and what is going to be enabled. So now let's go a little more. Let's try to send data now. If I need to send data, I will need to add this part that I copy here, and I need to add it to us as a resource. Okay? And I'm going to modify the resource get so they don't collide each other. and I'm going to add just ID. So now we have, and we need to create a post. We go down and we create a post. So now we have a post there that is going to return, hello, this is a REST service, but it's going to return data now. That data that we are going to send is going to be an address, this address. Okay? So we are going to receive the same address one more time. So let's go back. Let's just clean cache. Let's review the services. Everything is enabled. So we have this one, edit. We have post now. And what we are going to accept, we're going to accept that one, and we save it. As you can see, it created two APIs now, one for get, one for post. If we go here now into resource, it's going to ask me for a body because I'm going to do a post. So let's do raw. I'm going to post it, this code. There is a JSON, and let's see if it returns the correct information. And there it is. Always happens. Sometimes the cache gets. Oh, that is another thing. All the get methods, by default, they are cached. Okay? In Drupal, all of them are cached because like it's going to be the same get and get and get. You can program them to not be cached after a certain amount of time, but that one it requires one more line of code in your get or post. So let me see now, see if that one works. I think I know what is the problem here. Let me do a new tab. We're going to post, body, raw. The authorization cannot be a basic authorization because we can have a cross-site scripting. So we're going to need to generate a token in order for us to be able to use it. And let me go into my other module and request a token. Create bit authentication. Get resource is a user login, and we need to send username and password. User login. To send name. It's going to be REST. It's going to be REST. Yeah. And this is where I start. Okay. We can run the demo if you want to later, in order to not spend more time on this one. So what I wanted to show you is that it was going to return basically the message plus the data that we are passing through. Okay. So well, what I'm going to show you now is how to integrate that into another module that is going to be basically more extend. We are going to send a, I would say like a Google address, and I'm going to pass it into USPS. I'm going to return a clean data from USPS. Most of the issues on data usually is because people misspells things, or they put everything in lowercase, everything in uppercase. So with this one, the address we can standardize, and we can basically send and provide the information to everybody the same way. So let's go into the modules, and I'm going to enable the module. That is going to be and we are going to see a new resource here. That is going to be Drupal Gov resource and Drupal Gov resource post. Okay? We're going to review. We're going to accept basic authentication too. And we're going to save. Now, for the purpose of this one, I created a form that is going to be an autocomplete form. Let's wait for that one to load. Cancel any service that it was stuck in there. I'm sorry about that. Something is stuck in there. There it is. From this form, as you can see, I require address line 1. Why I require address line 1? Because at least we need to have some point of start. We cannot start with an address or saying Virginia, where which is the zip code, which is. So address line 1 give us a little more detail of where we need to start looking. So let me try. This is still loading. This one. Trying to. Let me quit some service. I will reopen the code in a minute.
Could be a network issue. Maybe
Yeah.
the network.
It can be that one too. Something is trying to call and like this one is going to outside.
Yeah.
This, yeah. Try to connect to another one. Yes, it's a network issue. I will try to give the internet from my phone. Okay, it looks like it was that. I don't see any. You see? It's loading, still loading things. Yes. Yeah, I think it's. Let me stop everything. Yeah, Google is still loading. I can disable Google.
Can you open just an external website? Make sure you can't go to it.
Yeah, it's loading. Something in the
The
network.
internet's down. Google's
No.
down.
Yeah, I think internet is down. So let me disable Google. I wanted to show you the autocomplete, but it looks like the network is not allowing us. So I'm going to disable that part of the form. Just these two lines. I'm not going to call anything that is related to Google. Let's just clear out cache. There it is. Now it's faster. So we're going to type A5 North Royal Street, Alexandria, Virginia. Oh, we have another problem. We are going to go to UPS. So let's see if we can connect to that one here. See, I told you at the beginning, if this one works everywhere, but if the servers are down, nobody can connect to anything. So let's see. Hope so. Finger crossed.
The curse of the live demo. The curse of the live demo.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Yeah. We're not going to be able to, unless, oh, there it is. So, as you can see, yeah, it didn't go through. Because if you see here, I'm passing this address, and it returned me the same address actually. Okay, what it should have returned me because of the network, it should be, first of all, it should be capitalized. USPS return always the address is capitalized. It should be with the 4 more digits of the zip code. So it should be standardized already. And if I put north, it's going to return me end, like that. So we can try one more time. I'm going to try one more time here. See? This one is faster. No? I'm so sorry, guys. This one is out of my hand. So if you guys want to see how this one works, I'm here to show you. Okay, I'm going to stay for a while so we can see it. Maybe if we go up there, it's going to be better internet. So based on the connection, we cannot do it basically right now. So let's just jump into the questions. Yeah.
Are you going to share your module code?
The module code, which of them?
The one you just modified, are you going to share it?
Yeah, you can. I can share it. We can talk about that one later. Any other questions? Any other interests? I like Batman, for example. What about you guys? You?
Do you have, is there support for like OAuth 2 authentication through a separate identity server?
They are saying that, based on what I heard about this one, is that they are trying to go out from OAuth. Okay? They are trying to make it as much simple authentication, and that is one of the things that I wanted to show you, is that basically you can do a token-based authentication, and that is even more secure because you are going to log in every time that you are going into collecting any data. So you're going to receive a token every time. So if you don't have access to the website or to the service, you are not going to be able to receive any resource. That is why I heard. I don't know if OAuth can go away, to tell you the truth, but I'm not sure if they are going to support OAuth in the future. Like I said, most of these modules are already in the core. So, I think I saw another hand around here. Going
Can
once.
you speak it into the mic too? Sorry. Oh.
Sorry.
Could you show the code and explain how it calls out to the USPS web service?
Yeah, we can talk about that one later if you want to.
Okay.
It's a little more extend on that one.
Okay.
Could you maybe just kind of like walk through the large overarching points, perhaps,
What do you mean?
of the call out code? Without going into the details, like this section here is.
Basically this connection. This is like I was talking. This one is the token that you're going to receive, and this one is going to be the one that you're going to do user login, the same as any Drupal site. You're going to log in into that one with your authentication, and like that you're going to be able to track. This one is going to return a token, which one is going to hit the resource that is going to be sending the data into USPS. This one is a connection only inside Drupal. So if we are, like right now, if you have an account in Drupal, from your laptop, if this one was on the web, from your laptop, you are going to be able to hit my API. Okay, and from here, I'm going to return you a USPS basically address. I'm going to parse that one into, because XML is required for USPS. They have a very old system and they have SOAP. So we need to parse that one. We need a key. And basically it's going to return you the address already formatted in the correct state. But one more time, if you guys are very interested in the code, we can talk more, we can plan a chat, coffee, drinks, whatever you want. You know.
Would you be willing to post a link to your code from the session page?
I actually
Like on GitHub or whatever?
I actually have this one, the same code for Drupal 7. It's already implemented and working. I have a sandbox if you guys want to. It's basically, it was built to just copy paste the code into Drupal 8 and continue from there. You know, like, it's just few tweaks, few classes, Drupal set message, add JS, things like that. That needs to be modified, but the base code is on that sandbox that I have in Drupal.
Are you going to put a link to that somewhere?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can share. I see some hands around there. I think behind the pillar there. Somebody? No. See, I saw it.
Is it easy to extend the address point to the direction you're getting?
Sorry? Sorry.
Is it easy to extend, like once you have the system getting addresses, is it easy to also extend the system to get directions?
Yes. You can do whatever after that. Once you have the address, you can basically. The code that I was talking about, it has even geolocation. It has the pinpoints and latitude and longitude and everything. So you can extend it as much as you want. You can, from there, you can actually give you, once you save it, once you save the data, it can give you back the pinpoint and the geolocation and the correct address for USPS. So you can put the map. It's basically one more field that you're going to do, latitude and longitude, and from there, you can do a view. Don't be shy. We have time. 43.
Can you tell us about the major differences between D7 and D8 in terms of consuming REST APIs?
D8 is faster. The REST APIs are the same. That is the good thing of APIs. You know, like the REST is always going to be from one application to the other application. Is going to be always the same. It's going to return the data. But in order to, I would say in D8 right now they have make it, with these modules they have make it very easy to implement and very easy to create new resources, very easy to send data, and like everybody knows, Drupal headless is the best. You know, like we use it as a shell and we keep going from there. So Drupal 8 as a API has become in D8, I would say. D7 is not the same way. It's like forced to do it. But in D8 it's already part of it.
Have you ever come across people using like the API in like calling its own API as kind of like a way to do like asynchronous stuff inside the same site?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do that one, and that one sometimes is a very good idea. So you don't have so many things laid down everywhere. You're not maintaining too many databases. You know, you're maintaining one, and you're connecting to that one only. So you just centralize, and you can actually do that one. You know, like sometimes it's a good idea, depending on, of course, the project and what you need.
Fair enough. Okay. So it's not a terrible idea.
No, it's not. Let's see if we have internet. Let's try one more time. Oh, we have internet. Let's see. Oh, works. Come on. You can do it. No? It's going to return the same. Sometimes when I see this one, I have a friend, a co-worker, Sarat. He was speaking recently, 1 hour before. No, we didn't get it. He basically asked me, do you have a dev site? And I said, no, I'm going to do everything in my machine. Because I prefer to do it in my machine because I think it's more reliable to have a local host. But I didn't account it for the Wi-Fi to go down. Okay? So the site is working, but the Wi-Fi is not working. So, but it will be the same issue for Sarat, that he will be not able to connect to the server. So one of the other one, at least we are seeing the title looks good. So any other questions? Any other concerns? Do you guys want us to connect later? Basically, we can connect later. And of course, thank you everybody for joining. I really enjoy it as much as the internet enjoy it. So again, I'm Jorge Castedo. I am a solutions architect for New Target, and I'm a Scrum Master too. You can follow me on Twitter, or you can email me if you guys have or still have any questions or concerns. You can also follow New Target at New Target Inc. We are hiring too, by the way. Somebody is looking. Ellen, you can talk with Ellen. There it is. Thank you guys.